Hi, friend. Well, do you know what is one of the greatest gifts that you can have in the world? One of the best treasures that we have? You know what it is? Well, it's not money, not fame, but it's friendships. And in a world that feels busy and disconnected, friendships are one of the most beautiful and important gifts that we can give to ourselves. Now, whether it's a quick text just to check in, or maybe it's a long walk with a trusted friend, or a shared laugh that just lightens your heart, human connection nourishes us in a way that we can't always see, but we can certainly feel. That's what we're going to talk about today, the importance of friendship and connection, and how to be grateful for those. Now, in the last video, we talked about nature, being grateful for the things in the natural world and for our homes. And just like those two things restore and ground us, friendships also bring healing and strength. Meaningful friendships are essential to both our physical and our emotional health. And today, we're going to explore some of the ways that friendships and connection can help boost both our physical and our emotional health. But I want to share with you a conversation that I had, a phone call actually, with a friend this week. And this is someone that I have known since 1975. And so we have been good friends for many, many, many years, actually for most of my life. And this friend, she doesn't live close to me, and we don't get together a lot. But you know what? When we do connect, whether it's been a couple of years or maybe 6 months, when we get back together, it's like no time has passed. Maybe you have friendships like that too. That is something to really be grateful for. And when we visit, we just jump right in. And it's a place where we are safe, where we can trust each other, and we can share deeply with each other. And so this is a really valuable friendship that I've had. And after I got off of this call this week, I recognized how this friendship really promoted some of these healthy things that I'm going to share with you in just a little bit. Now, another thing that I want to say about friendships is, they come in all different shapes and sizes. So maybe you have a really short friendship. You might have met somebody at a retreat or a conference, and you were together, you sat together in the meetings, and maybe you went out for supper, but after the event was over, you really didn't have much connection with that person anymore. Now, we can tend to discount those relationships, but what if we paused and we thought about them and we were grateful for them because they add to our life? They're not long term, but in the moment, it's something really good that we have in our life. Now, we have other friendships that maybe last a year or two and then they're done. And that's okay. Oftentimes I think we kind of beat ourselves up for that, oh, this wasn't a lifelong friend. But those short friendships are also important, and we need to be grateful for those. And again, to think about what we gain from that. And then, of course, we have these lifelong friendships, and those are so wonderful and rewarding. And these lifelong friendships, it may be someone that you live close by for your entire life, or like my friend that I was just talking about, we don't live close and we don't talk that often, but we know that we are there for each other. And that was a really cool thing when we were talking about our friendship this week. That's one of the things that my friend said is, we don't talk that often, but I know that you are there for me if I ever need you. I know how to get in touch with you. And that's how I feel too. I could get in touch with her at any time. And again, those really good friendships are like no time has passed at all. So whatever type of friendship you have or you've had in the past, just pause this week and be grateful for that. And you know what? Even if you haven't seen them in a long time, maybe shoot them a text or an email or maybe a phone call. So now I want to talk about some of the emotional health benefits that we get from friendships. Okay, so one way that friendships help us is they reduce stress and anxiety. So when life feels heavy, a listening ear or a comforting presence can make all the difference in the world. Sharing our struggles with friends helps us to feel supported. And you know what? That reduces anxiety, that reduces those stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Even if it's a short conversation, just making that connection can be so good for us. And you know, when I was visiting with my friend this week after we got off, oh my goodness, my spirits were so high. I felt so good. I knew that those feel-good hormones were coursing through my body because I was feeling really good. And so, friendships help to boost our mood and our happiness. And it increases those feel-good hormones like oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine. There truly is a chemical, a physiological reaction that's happening in your body when you connect with that really good friend. So that's another way it boosts our emotional health and our physical health too. Friendships can also increase our sense of belonging. And you know, we hear a lot these days about a loneliness epidemic. And when someone, maybe you, I know for me it's true, when we've experienced trauma in our life, it can be easy to view the world through a lens of fear, through that lens of trauma. And that can cause us to isolate because we may feel like the world isn't safe, no one is safe. But when we make that connection, we gain a sense of belonging. Like we are not in it alone, that there are people that we have in our life, people that care about us and love us, and that we can go to when we need help and support. And that can increase our sense of self-worth. We feel better about ourselves when we know other people care about us. When we have friends that appreciate us and accept us for who we are, that just helps us feel more lovable and more worthy, and it helps us to accept ourselves for who we are. And these affirming relationships can actually help us heal some of those wounds of trauma, you know, things that happened to us in the past. Some of those things can be healed through friendships because I know in my friendships, I'm able to talk about a lot of those things and get support and encouragement and help. And that just helps lessen the load of those burdens, that trauma that I experienced in the past. So that's another benefit of friendships. And all of this just encourages healthy coping, healthy habits. So life's challenges are easier to manage when we have people to remind us that we are not alone. Friends can help us talk through our emotions rather than bottling them up, or maybe turning to unhealthy coping mechanisms. So again, friends are really good for our emotional and mental health. Now, to kind of piggyback on this, friends and friendships are good for our physical health, and a lot of what we've just said, but it boosts our immune system, so that helps us become more resilient and more resistant to just common flu, colds, different diseases. We can actually have a better immune system by getting together with good, trusted friends, and that keeps us healthier. And friendships can also help protect our heart. Healthy relationships can reduce blood pressure, lower the risk of heart disease, and even help regulate our heart rhythms. Because again, when we calm down, when that oxytocin, when that dopamine and serotonin is increased, that helps our overall health and it helps our heart. Healthy relationships can also promote longevity. We just live longer when we stay connected to people. There's been research on that too. When older people have more social connections, they stay healthier, and when you're healthier, you tend to live longer. And good friendships can also promote healthy habits. So if we're with people that have healthy habits, or maybe we're in friendships where we both want to improve some different healthy habits. I know I have a really good friend, and right now we are working on weight issues together. And so when we get together, we talk about different things we're doing. We encourage each other for the healthy habits that we have and for the weight that we've lost. And we also give each other tips and ideas for what the other one is doing that can help us. And I know my friend, she has encouraged me to go to the gym. And that really helps me to want to get active. That's one thing that she does really well. And that's something I want to incorporate in my life too. She's a good example for me. And that's another good thing about friends and healthy habits. They can be a good example, a good role model for us, for things that we want to do and things we want to have in our life. So friendships are what I call emotional medicine. So friendships are more than just a pleasant part of our life. It's emotional medicine. It reminds us that we don't have to face everything alone. Every shared story and every heartfelt conversation, every moment of laughter. And think about how much we can laugh with our friends, and laughter is so good for our health too. So moments of laughter and connection and heartfelt conversations can help us to heal those invisible wounds that we have. And those friendships can fill us with hope. So this week, take a moment to reach out to a friend. And maybe it's someone that you see more often. For me, maybe it's someone like my friend that I hadn't seen for quite a while, but we had a wonderful conversation and we were on the phone for over an hour and a half, and it was all good. So reach out to a friend. And maybe you're thinking of someone, and that's really important too. Who is a friend that is just coming to your mind right now? Maybe that's the person you're supposed to reach out to. Who knows what that connection could do, whether it's a friend that you see often, or maybe it's one of those friends that you met at a conference, or maybe it's a friend from childhood. Again, whoever is coming up, just reach out to that person. Give them a call or a text. Because gratitude grows when we nurture those friendships. And when we focus on those good and positive things that we have in our friendships, then that is what expands. That's what we think about more of, because what we focus on expands. Now, I know sometimes, and I do this sometimes too, I think about the negative things in friendships. Why haven't they called? Why am I always the one to plan something? Whatever that negative talk is. If we focus on that, that's what's going to grow in our friendships too. So again, I would just encourage you this week to be grateful for your friendships and to focus on the good and the positive things that you have. Okay, so that's all I have for today. I hope this was helpful. And if you like this video, please, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and share this with a friend. Okay, thanks so much for being here today. Bye-bye.